been a while. It's been a hot minute. Hi, everyone. It's been a while. Welcome back. So today it's going to be a fun, lighthearted video. You probably would have guessed it from the title. I'm going to be ranking Genshin Impact characters and categorizing them as if they were in high school. I'm gonna go off their general vibes that I get from them, from their portrait to their in-game personas. So we'll be selecting them and slotting them into their different high school niches, let's say. But this video is purely for fun. It's just for the laugh. You could disagree with me. I mean, I would love to see what you guys have to say. What general vibes? This video is all about vibes, honestly. What general vibes do you get from these characters? But without further ado, let's get started. I guess first and foremost, we must now go over the different categories. So up first, and this is kind of a ranking, not necessarily of betterness or importance, it's just categories. We got the geeks, the people with the glasses, the nerds, the video gamers, the people who like to play chess or checkers or card games, they collect cards, all that stuff. We got the geeks, we got the jocks, the athletes, the people who are out on the sports teams every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday playing ball, okay? And then we have the mean girls. Now it's spelled girls because it's not just girls, biologically gender women, but also men as well, boys, etc. and they, thems. Anyone can be a mean girl, okay? Next, we have the wallflowers. These are the people that kind of just blend in, observe from the sidelines. They are there to populate, not necessarily to punctuate, okay? Wow. I'm gonna take that quote and write a check on that. Next, we have the theater kids. These are the people who are a little bombastic, a little out there, you know, a little flick of the wrist. You know, they have the monologues, the dialogues. They're always singing Shakespeare in the hallway. They're in the band and they're helping with the theater productions, etc., etc. So now that we got all of the categories lined up and my ideas, now we are going to go through. First and foremost, we have the two twin travelers. I mean, all honesty, this isn't a shocker, but these two are going where the wallflowers are. Because in all honesty, they don't have a lot of lines. They're just there to really populate and not punctuate. But they are consistent. And consistency is key. They're not crazy off the wall. They are there to be acted upon, not necessarily to take the initiative. Okay, great. Next, we have Jean. Now, I really don't put Jean in all honesty because her personality seems a little bit more relaxed, stoic. I kind of would want to put her in a wallflower. However, she does have that leadership role. But she's not necessarily, I'm saying like she's not necessarily like a mean person, nor is she really a jock. So, but she's definitely not a geek, so I think for the best fit, she'll probably be in the jock section. She's a kind jock. She looks at people, she talks to people, but she does have a very strong head on her shoulders. Next up, we have Amber. Girl, Amber is a theater kid through and through. I would say theater kid or perhaps geek because she does enjoy her stuffed animals. However, she's a little bit more animated. She's a little bit more fiery, henceforth her pyro affinity. But for me, Amber's definitely a theater kid. Next up, we got Lisa. And I gotta say, Lisa is a mean girl. Maybe not like scathing, piercing mean girl, but she really does have a slight edge to her. She's definitely would be one of the higher ups in the school. I feel like she would have a lot of people flocking and frocking to her, boys and women included, because you know Lisa, she got the goods and she's not afraid to use it. Okay. Next up, we have Kaya or Kaya. Pretty sure it's Kaya. I think Kaya would also probably be a jock. Probably a little bit more headstrong in the same line as Jean. But once again, these two aren't necessarily mean in any way. They just are very blunt. Though Kaya has shown some intelligence. So not full meathead, maybe like the strategist of the team. Next up, we got Barbara, okay? All honesty, I feel like Barbara's kind of a geek. You know, she's not the mean, I mean, okay, honestly. Lisa does read books too. I got it. But Barbara, healing. medicine, keeping to herself. I feel like she's more of a geek. I'm feeling that's where her place is. And I feel like she thrives in that place. I can't see her in any other thing. She could be a wallflower. She could be, but I think she's a little bit more of an outspoken geek. Next up, we got Dilek, okay? I can't decide. It's either mean girl or a jock. But like the body, the muscles, they really want to make me say jock. Because he's not necessarily mean for the sake of it. But I do feel he gives slightly more, like, one of those that push you over in the locker, you know, when you're crossing paths. So I say Dilek is kind of more of a jock. Next up, we got Razor. Okay, Razor's a wallflower. She's there. She's not doing much. She's living by nature. And that is not a bad thing. When I tell you that is not a bad thing, he is with nature. He's not really going out there doing the do's. He's just worried about his wolf pack because he is small boy. He is cute pupper boy, okay? And so Razor, you do it flawlessly. You do it flawlessly. Next up, Venti. Venti, a theater kid. Mama, theatrics. This, theater kid. Definitions. Not English kid, because that's English definitions, but by definition, I feel like Venti is one of the major theater kids. Extremely animated, extremely bombastic, always in people's business, drinking. His liver's content, his poor liver. But yeah, I'd say Venti's more of a theater kid. Next up, we got Klee. I don't know a lot about Klee, honestly. If I'm being truly vulnerable here, I don't know a lot about Klee. However, she kind of strikes me as a wallflower as well, though she did take over a kingdom. So I don't know, maybe she's more of a chaotic geek, maybe. I feel like she's a little bit more chaotic geeky. Is that a proper assessment? We'll see. Next up, we have Bennett. Now, Bennett does strike me as a jock. In the same manner of Jean and Kea, he is definitely more of an adventurer type, more of an outgoing, doing things with the physical body. So, Bennett's a jock. Next up, Noelle. You a wallflower. I'm sorry. Everyone got you for free. And honestly, that's probably why I put her in the wallflower, because like she's just she has not made an impression on me, really, nor I feel like a lot of people. She's kind of just there as a geo, as one of your first starter geos that you got when you first started the game, went back when it first launched. So I'd say Noelle is more of a wallflower. Next is Fischl, or I just call her Fish. I don't know. I feel like Fish is kind of the mean girl. I gotta say, she is a little bit quieter, though I do feel like she has that quiet wit, like that quiet, like I'm calculating. But she does have a little bit of a character break every so often, where she like forgets her role, and then breaks, and then it kind of shines through. But I wouldn't classify her as a theater kid, nor necessarily a wallflower. So I feel like she's a bit more of a intimidating on the outside mean girl. Like you're like, oh, I don't want to get close to her, but once you kind of spend a little bit of time with her, she's a little bit more fun. Next up, we got Sucrose. We got Suuwu. It's basically Suuwu-crose. Suuwu-crose is a geek alchemy. I mean, it's in the character. Alchemists studying science, amalgamations, reactions, solvents, independent variables and dependent variables, all of that stuff. Sucrose is the geek. I love it. I love Sucrose. Cool. Next up, we have Mona. Mona, I don't know. I think Mona gives off mean girl vibes, but Mona also kind of gives me geek vibes. Studying, astrology, and I don't know. I feel like she might look intimidating, but I feel like she's a little bit more of a geek in terms of like that quirkiness. So appearances might be deceiving people. Next up, we got Diona. And theater kid for the purpose of being a big bartender, being that socialite, and also Mama, that physical presentation of that character screams theater to me. Small, short, cat. Like, that is theater. That is you ever seen the play Cats? You saw the movie Cats? You want to unsee it? Me too. Me too. Next up, we have Albedo. Albedo. In all honesty, I don't know who Albedo is. So, for that purpose, Wallflower. I'm just kidding. I genuinely am not familiar with Albedo. I think he is one of the newer characters. So, I'm not actually sure on my own personal scale, on my own personal ranking, where I'll put him. So, I do feel he's giving me more Wallflower vibes. You know, he's not one of the core people that we know, maybe in the newest patch, but like he hasn't built up necessarily what Dillik has built up, or what Venti has built up, or what even Amber is. Amber is infamous. Okay. Next up, we have Zhao. Zhao, I don't think he's playable yet. I think he might be up and coming playable, or if he already is. But once again, not super familiar with Zhao. However, from his physical appearance, I don't want to say Wallflower, but I really don't. I'm not sure where I want to put Zhao. He kind of gives me mean girl, kind of, but also Jock. And I think Jock is probably the better place for him instead of mean girl. Next up, we have Bedu. Bedu. To me, Bedu, mean girl. Mommy, dominatrix. Crush me with that heel. Slash me with your sword. Knock me out with that sword and with that body. But also the face, the energy, the vibes. I'm gonna say mean girl. Next up, Nin Guang. Nin Guang is, for me, I would have to classify her if in her hierarchy in the high school scenario. I might feel a draw to the mean girl category just a little bit. Though I do really want to level up my Ningguang, and I'm excited to play more of her, but she kind of also giving me mean girl vibes. Next up, we have Zhang Ling. Zhang Ling is a theater kid. I feel like Zhang Ling is a theater kid, though she is a chef. I know that's not necessarily a category, and I guess you would say geek, just for the sake of home economics. But I would say Zhang Ling is slightly more animated. She has guobo. She's fiery. She has a lot of personality and pizzazz to her. So I think for that reason, I will place Zhang Ling in the theater kid tab. Next up, we have, I really hope I'm saying this name right, Jingqiu. Jingqiu. Part of me knows who Jingqiu is. I think I am just getting around to interacting with this character in Genshin Impact, but for now, I'm not exactly sure. I would have to put him in the Mean Girls category. I'm sorry, but giving me a little bit of a spicy side, you know, a little bit of like I'm proper, but I'm also kind of like cheeky, all that stuff. Next up, we have Chong Yin. And once again, I'm not actually familiar with Chong Yin. And I think for that, Wallflower. That was maybe a little bit too blunt. But I haven't been impressed by Chong Yin. And I haven't even encountered him in the story. Nor have I heard a lot of great things about Chong in terms of personality or lore. And I think for that, it will be Wallflower. Next is Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi is a geek. I like Chi-Chi a lot. The zombie old age. Though they do have amnesia occasionally and forgets a lot of things, I do feel like there's a lot of wisdom hidden down within there. And just overall, like, life and a zombie. And, you know, wanting to know and being curious. So for me, personality, though they might not be the smartest, kind of would lead me to believe that Chi-Chi in a high school scenario would be a geek. Next up, we have Catching. And Catching either a jock or a mean girl. I would say a jock. I feel like Catching has that hard-headedness, that like upfrontness, very blunt, very direct, and That's why I think they'd be more of a jock. However, there is an aspect of catching because of the city of Liyue and the policy and stuff. She definitely has brains, but she is a bit more blunt. Though I guess that would also lead to put her in the mean girls category because it's like the bluntness with the intelligence and the smarts. But I'm kind of hovering in between jocks and mean girls, but I feel like jocks uh does it because it is policy, but like also the physical aspects of catching. I'm a little undecided, guys. I don't know, where would you place catching? Maybe we'll just put her in the mean girls, but no, that catching is a little ambiguous for me. Next up, Tartaglia. Tartaglia. Jock. Oh wait, no, don't replace Zhao. Jock. Weapons. Gotta master weapons. Jock. Full on jock. Next up, we have Zhong Li is A, daddy. B, daddy. C, daddy. No, in all honesty, I would say he is a little bit more quiet jocks. It's like, I gotta get things done. In the manner of catching, but I do feel like Zhong Li is much quieter. And just is more physical. I mean, he is Geo, and I think that kind of plays into like the structure and the hardness of the character for me. So in a high school scenario, I would say Zhang Li is more of the quiet jock with like a glaring eye. And next we have Zhan Yan. Zhan Yan? I hope I'm saying that correctly. Theater kid. Band. She is the orchestra. She is providing all of the music in the band camp and or for the theatrical productions. Yes. Highly that. And then finally, or penultimately, I should say, we have Ayaka, who is on this tier list, but we don't have her in game, I think. And maybe a theater kid. Honestly, for the safety, I'm gonna put her as a wallflower. And then now, lastly, we have Ganyu. And Ganyu is also a newer character that I am not personally super familiar with. But reading over her little blurb on the website, it does seem more about order and in service of the greater good or Liyue or Rex Lapis. So I think for that, it's also a bit more wallflowery in terms of not necessarily going above and beyond, but being really good at doing what is asked of Ganyu. So that would be my tier list of where I would place these characters if they were in a high school scenario. I might have had to readjust the framing, but here is a better picture of it. It's a little stretched out, but this is my final amalgamation of my tier ranking for the current Genshin Impact characters. We got quite a few jocks and we got quite a few wallflowers, which I think is appropriate. The Geeks, Mean Girls, and the Theater Kids are added extra fluff to spicing up the story and the narrative. But even in terms of a high school scenario, this is what I would do. This is how I would place them. I don't know. This is lit. This is lit, fam. Thank you everyone so much for coming by and for watching this video. My hair is a mess, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys would comment on my ranking of my Genshin Impact characters and where I would place them in a high school scenario. If you would like to do this too, I highly implore you. I had a lot of fun. I don't know. That's where I would place them. Agree to disagree. In some areas, you might have more knowledge or more nuances in the characters than I do. But thank you everyone so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it. Comment down below your thoughts. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, you get videos early. You also get exclusive videos. You can request videos, all that stuff. But I'm happy to be back. It's 2021. And yes, I trust you guys on the internet. You guys know what to do on the YouTubes. And I'll see you guys later. Bye everyone.